Several hundred Taiwanese students are still occupying the island's parliament. They're protesting against a wide-ranging trade deal signed between the Taiwanese government and China. And they appear to have plenty of support. Opinion polls show most Taiwanese want more public discussion of the deal, and more than 100,000 people have demonstrated against the government. The occupiers call themselves the Sunflower Student Movement. It echoes another flower power era when Taiwanese students demonstrated for democracy and an end to dictatorship in 1990. Back then, they were called the Wild Lilies. Earlier, we spoke with one of the Sunflower leaders, Oliver Chen. He's inside the Taiwanese parliament. He's a law student at Taiwan National University, the island's best-known college. Welcome to LinkAsia, Oliver. First, what's the mood inside?
It's quite exhausted, but we still very yes, we are encouraged by our leaders and a lot of speakers like professor and social movement work, and some kind of politicians will encourages us and giving speeches on what is democracy and what is this movement about and why should we keep on going. So it's fine. Yeah.
So it seems like you're getting some level of support there. Oliver, are you worried that this pact is a symbol of slow absorption of Taiwan by the mainland?
First of all, we are not against China and we are not against free trade. But still, under the circumstances that China hasn't hesitated to tell us that they will use economic measure to undermine the democracy and to influence the political situation in Taiwan. So we are sort of afraid that the Ma Ying-jeou or the Ma president would have some backroom deal with China that we will not know. So we ask more transparency.
Apparently, there are talks between the ruling Kuomintang and the opposition Democratic Progressive Party to take another look at the trade pact. Will that satisfy you?
This is what we want. We want oversight law, not some bipartisan negotiation, and we want a concrete promise from bipartisan members of legislative yuan.
Okay, well, we will continue to watch and see if there's any movement on that. Oliver, thank you for joining us. Oliver Chen is a spokesperson for the Sunflower Student Movement and its occupation of Taiwan's parliament. China is worried about the protests against the trade deal. Beijing officials in charge of relations with Taiwan have expressed concern, and there's quite a bit of comment on social media. Our contributor in Beijing is Mark Dreyer. Mark, what's happening on social media?
Well, Twee, the majority of people online here see the protests as both disrespectful and ungrateful. For example, there's a summary of the trade agreement that's been doing the rounds, and it says Beijing made major concessions. Lots of comments have been written in that vein. An attorney by the name of Duan Wanjing wondered why the mainland had made many economic concessions in the CSSTA, but received only accusations and anger in exchange. Xu Qingduo, a well-known radio host on a state-run station, came up with a pretty memorable phrase asking why China needs to put its hot cheeks against Taiwan's cold buttocks. The students' occupation also brought this reaction. If American students marched on Capitol Hill and then also captured the White House, would you think it's a victory for democracy or a democratic disaster? Chinese liberal Chen Min, who is banned from Sina Weibo but had a friend post these comments, said that the movement had exceeded its original intention when the leaders used violence to annul the trade agreement instead of legal alternatives. He added that Taiwan's democratic institutions should be carefully protected because they represent the highest level of democratic achievement in a society with Chinese culture. But it's not just the student protests that have been causing waves in China. It sparked a whole new wave of anti-Taiwan feeling. This video clip from 2011 has resurfaced and has sparked the hashtag #TEgg that has been used more than 10 million times. In the clip, a Taiwanese official disparagingly says that many mainlanders could not even afford to buy tea eggs, an inexpensive snack. Lots of angry responses, of course, but also some more humorous ones. "I've been saving up my whole life and I can finally afford some tea eggs," writes one person, while a group of mainlanders following the action from the UK where they're studying posted a series of mocking pictures. This sign says, "No matter how poor the motherland is, we will keep feeding you tea eggs." Just for the record, one of those tea eggs costs about 25 cents. For LinkAsia, I'm Mark Dry in Beijing.
Now on US airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.